welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. Yes, my hair is now red. I have been wanting to go back to red for a while. I used to be red like, I think I actually had red hair when I started my channel, but I've been blonde for like 3 years, so it was time to go back and I love it. So in all likelihood, this reading vlog is probably gonna span a week and a half because this weekend is my husband's birthday and then the day after is my dad's birthday. So it's basically a birthday weekend and I won't really be reading. So I'm not reading a physical book at the moment, but I have been reading Clown in a Cornfield digitally through Libby. And according to Libby, I'm 33% of the way through. And I saw this, or this book was on my radar because Chloe from Books with Chloe had read it a while back. And I think she gave it like a 2 or a 3. She wasn't necessarily raving about it, but it showed up under like available now for digital books, and I just kind of wanted like, you know, a fast-paced vibe. You know, I'm not going into it with amazing expectations. And so far it's mediocre. I don't really know what the plot is so far. This girl Quinn is a teenager and her dad's a doctor, and they move to this like really small town whose mascot is a clown. And it's mainly like teenage conflict right now, and I mean, I can see why it's kind of mediocre. Nothing spooky has happened yet, and we are 33% of the way through, but who knows? But nonetheless, it's literally like the perfect book to just relax and read at night, you know? So that's what we're doing with that. And then audiobook wise, I am listening to Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This book has been on my radar forever. I don't know a single person who read it and didn't like it, and I already love it. I'm only 13% of the way through, but I love it. It's so like witty, Chloe's so sarcastic, it's just gonna be a good time. And then I am wanting to start Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. This was a book that I was going to read for my September 24-hour reading vlog, but I didn't get to it, and I had checked out Volume 1 from the library in that vlog, and I had like 2 on hold through the library, and it was like getting transferred from a different library to my library and all this, and turns out my husband has the first 3, and I should have known that because now that he told me, I do remember being there when he got them, but I just completely didn't even think to check if he had them or not. So returned the library ones and I have his copies. So definitely want to read Volume 1 this week as well, and then we'll kind of see where it goes.
So this is some footage from the walking trail that I've been taking a lot this month, and the leaves have started to turn and it's just gorgeous. But I wanted to document this because when I was walking the other day, I noticed that there are little like fairy houses scattered along the base of trees about halfway through my walk. And I'm not sure who did that. I'm assuming it's some kids in one of the nearby neighborhoods, but I thought it was really cute, and it really reminded me of being a little kid and being obsessed with fairies. So I loved that. And then here is some footage of me halfway through my walk. There's this conveniently placed bench that I think was part of a development of a neighborhood that never got built. But I have been sitting here and just listening to my audiobook and taking some me time, and it's been really great. So there's that.
Hello, welcome. I think in my first clip I said that this is probably going to span 2 weeks, and would you know it, it's been like 3 since I recorded that clip. Full disclosure, I just finished my first therapy appointment with a new therapist. Therapy is exhausting. It is exhausting, and I am mentally drained. I am seeing a therapist for my chronic and debilitating anxiety. So, anyway, reading updates. I can't remember what I was reading last time I talked to you, but I'm pretty sure I finished it now, and I'm pretty sure I liked it.
It was meh.
You will know very soon when my October wrap-up is uploaded. But currently I am reading Nothing But Blackened Teeth. This is a horror novella based on Japanese folklore that I impulse bought at Barnes & Noble because the cover was amazing. Basically the premise of this is this group of paranormal enthusiasts go to this mansion, this like decrepit mansion, and are like looking into all the spooky happenings at this house. I only have about 40 pages left, but so far it's really not spooky, and I'm kind of sad about it. So it's like sitting at a 3-star right now. Also, I did read the Brown Sisters trilogy, Get a Life Chloe Brown, Take a Hint Danny Brown, and Act Your Age Eve Brown. Since I last spoke to you, I will go a lot more in depth in my wrap-up, but I did just want to say that I have read those and they were absolute masterpieces, and I loved each and every one of them. So romance, contemporary romance has really been like my audiobook genre of choice right now. I think it's the perfect thing to pick up. I can't really listen to fantasy on audiobook because I feel like I miss too much. Like I can't process everything that's happening. And same with thrillers to an extent. If I do listen to a thriller on audiobook, I have to have like be on a road trip or something where I can listen to a couple hours all in one go. But I've noticed that with contemporary romance, I can kind of stop and start whenever I want, and I don't lose too much of like the thread of the storyline. So I've been really getting into listening to those, and I've been going on walks and like 45-hour-long walks every day, and I pop in my earbuds and I listen to an audiobook, and it's been great. So what I'm listening to right now is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, the slow burn romance queen. I am like 18% of the way through it. It's long. It's like 16-hour audiobook, so I'm like, I don't even know how many hours in. But I'm almost a fourth of the way done, so I'm almost at 4 hours, math. And I'm really liking it so far. It's definitely not, you know, I honestly don't know what I could possibly read that's going to top the Brown Sisters trilogy. But right now I think this is a high 3-star. It's really entertaining to listen to. And our main character, Vanessa, I really, really like. So that's what I'm listening to. That's what I'm reading. And I'm hoping to finish Nothing But Blackened Teeth today. And then we'll pick what's coming next. So I will keep you posted and I will finish this vlog by the end of this week. Today's Wednesday. So we're gonna get back to making my weekly vlogs actually take place within a week. I know, what a concept, it's groundbreaking. Okay. Hello. It is Friday. This week has literally gone by so fast, but today is like the first rainy day that we've had since like February or something, so I'm very excited. I am planning on doing some reading this afternoon once I get all of my annoying tasks done. But I did want to update. I finished Nothing But Blackened Teeth, and I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It's more like a 2.75, I would say. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because it's a novella. I don't read that many novellas, and the ones I do read usually aren't horror, and I feel like it's just hard to be scared when it's a novella, in the sense of like you can only have so much being built up before the climax happens, you know, because it's so quick. So like the suspense doesn't really have a bunch of time to build, and that's kind of what I felt with this. Like the story was really interesting, and I really enjoyed like the Japanese folklore elements. There were a couple that I wasn't familiar with, but some that I was familiar with because in one of my theater classes in college, we studied some Japanese folklore, but I love the way that they were incorporated, and it was a very atmospheric book, but I just think it's the issue of the suspense. Like, we didn't have enough time to build suspense, and the characters were not likable, like not a single one. And you know, it's not in the sense of like one has to be likable, like, oh, I need to like the characters, because I love a good morally gray character, but they just weren't likable in the sense of like, they weren't very, there was no depth to them. I would argue there's maybe too many of them, so it's like you can't give them depth in a novella because there's too many. There was just nothing to connect with, you know, that would make me like them. So yeah, overall, kind of disappointed, but it still had aspects that I enjoyed, and I think the more you know about Japanese folklore, probably the more you would like it, I'm assuming. But still, nonetheless, that cover's gorgeous, and you know, I'm always down for a new horror read, so that's that. And then I got a package in the mail today, which I think is one of the books I ordered off of Depop. I have been getting kind of into hardbacks, which is odd, but I've kind of been in a hardback phase, and they're so expensive, and I've, for the most part, aside from like this that I impulse bought, but most of the books I've read this year that were like new to me, I got through the library. So I've only been really interested in buying books that I've already read and know that I like and want to reread. And that's what this book is. If I can just get it open here. Don't know where the scissors went. So I've been getting books secondhand from people who are getting rid of them. And I have my own copy of Final Girls. Finally, I loved this. I read it last month and I absolutely loved it. And I recently also, I think a week or two ago, had gotten a hardback book of the month copy of Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which I also loved. Not as much as this, but I did love it. So I was like, you know what? Let's get these hardbacks, you know? So this is in pretty good condition, actually. There's like a little bit of like tearing at the top, but I think it was like 10 bucks for a hardback, and the inside jacket says 26, so love that. I am so excited because this is probably my new favorite thriller, and I really wanted to have my own copy so that I can annotate it, and like now that I know a lot of the big twists in it, I'm excited to reread it to see if I can find clues that I missed the first time, you know, like judge how obvious the plot twists are coming back around the second time. So I'm really excited, and yeah, another gorgeous hardback. So I am now like 30-something% of the way through The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, and I'm really loving it. Like, I just finished the Brown Sister trilogy, and those were like amazing, and I wouldn't say that this book by any means is on the same quality level as those ones, but it's kind of that thing for me where you have like your comfort films that aren't necessarily like award-winning, but they're just like cozy and they make you happy, so they're valid, you know, because of that. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. Like I understand that from like a literary sense, it's not as good quality, but I'm enjoying it just as much as the Brown Sisters books. So I'm just really excited. I'm just having such like a romance audiobook moment, and it's been fun. I went into The Wall of Winnipeg and Me blind. I think the big plot is obvious if you do read the back, but I kind of don't want to say because I don't know. I enjoy going into things knowing very little about it, so I would just say I have read one Mariana Zapata before this, but if you just want like a really fun, slow burn romance, I recommend this one. And our main character, Vanessa, I actually really like her. She has a lot of like depth to her, which I do think is sometimes missing from romance novels. So yeah, it's been really fun. I've honestly had the best time like going on long walks and listening to romance books recently, and I love that for me. Also, speaking of romance, I watched Crimson Peak last night for the first time, and fun fact, that movie came out right around the time when I started dating my husband, and we were supposed to go see that on a first date, and we never did see it. And 6 years later, I still hadn't seen it, and I finally watched it, and I'm kind of mad that we didn't see it on our first date, because that could have been like our movie, you know? But I was surprised by how much I loved it. Classic, you know, Guillermo del Toro, beautiful set, beautiful costumes, beautiful atmosphere, like so atmospheric. I loved that. I loved like the use of like the colors. There was a lot of like symbolism in the color schemes that were used in that movie and everything. I really loved it. I thought the acting was really good. It is an original story, but the first 30 minutes kind of felt like a spark notes of a book, and so I swear like it was based on a book, and they just did a bad job adapting the first like 30 minutes of it, but it wasn't based on a book. So I don't know why the first 30 minutes kind of feels disconnected from the rest of the movie. But oh my gosh, it's so dark and gothic, and like it's just another like cozy horror movie, and I just loved it, and it's putting me in this like gothic era phase, and I really want to read Jane Eyre now. Like I really want to read Jane Eyre, and I was already planning on reading Jane Eyre probably in November, because I'm like in a classics mood right now. And I've never read Jane Eyre, and I wanted to reread Wuthering Heights also. But I'm so tempted to start Jane Eyre right now, but it's October, and like this is spooky season, and I feel like I need to like make the most of spooky season because it's my favorite season. So I just need to wait like another week and a half, and then I think I'm gonna read Jane Eyre, and it's gonna be amazing, and I'm sure I'm gonna love it. And I'm just really excited. I'm just in a really happy mood today. Like, I'm just surrounding myself with things that I like, and watching that movie last night, I feel like it's gonna be a new favorite movie, and that's always like such a, you know, it's so fun when that happens. Like, as you're watching a movie, you just know before it's even over that like, this is gonna be one of like your comfort films. So anyway, that's that, but I have been trying to figure out what to read next. Now that I finished Nothing But Black and Teeth, I don't know why I'm like talking to you as if you're gonna tell me what to read before I decide something, since I'm gonna decide it before you even see this vlog. But I have a couple things on my Libby list. I'm trying to figure out if I want to try and fit in a 24-hour readathon into October or not, because if I do, Rosemary's Baby is probably going to be on that TBR because it's short, and I've been dying to reread it and watch the movie because I've never watched the movie before. But if not, I'm like, I could just start Rosemary's Baby today, but today doesn't work to do a 24-hour readathon, and I'm just conflicted all around. But other things I have here through Libby are, I have The Corpse Queen by Heather M. Herman. This is a new release, and I don't really remember the plot too much, but I remember it sounded interesting at the time. I have The Mary Shelley Club, which I did start. I'm 11% of the way through because I read it last week when I had this like event to go to, and it was just a really rough mental health week, and I wanted something that was like a thriller, obviously, but like YA, so I could kind of turn my brain off and like have a really relaxing like before bed time. So I got up to 11% of that, but now that I'm like in a better headspace, kind of in the mood to like read a book that takes more brain power, if that makes sense. And I also have Bunny, which I have been meaning to read for so long. So yeah, those are kind of the three options that I keep going back and forth between. I do think, let's see how long Bunny is on here. Oh, Bunny's pretty short. It's 363 pages on the iPad. So maybe I'll start Bunny. Because I do think the Corpse Queen has a little bit more like fantasy elements in it, which I'm not really in the mood for at the moment. So I think it's decided. I will start Bunny later today. I'm very excited. I definitely think I'm gonna like it. All the things I've heard about it, and even like the things that people don't like about it, I hear them say that and I'm like, I'm gonna love that. You know, like it's super weird. I'm like, I'm gonna love that. So yeah, that's the update. I'm gonna go put this on my shelf, finish work, do some laundry, get some groceries, get all my boring stuff out of the way, and then start Bunny. Hello, it is Monday. This is obviously a very strange, all over the place kind of vlog. Sorry, the lighting is weird. I thought I would go ahead and end the vlog here so that I can start a new one for this week. This is the week of Halloween, so I have a lot of reading plans for this week. We'll see how much I can get done, but I basically just want to try and read as much of what is left on my October TBR as I possibly can. So this week I did get up to 31% of Bunny, and I am really liking it so far. Like, I feel like it's just now starting. Sorry, I literally can't with this lighting. I cannot. You're just gonna go down here. There's no good way to do this. It's just now kind of starting to get weird, but I think when people kept saying that it was weird, I was hoping that that didn't necessarily mean that it was going to be confusing. And so far, thankfully, it hasn't been confusing. It is just kind of weird. I like weird things, but I don't necessarily enjoy being confused. Really hard to explain what this book is about because I'm not even 100% sure what this book is about. I feel like it's kind of those ones that you can only summarize it like once the whole thing is over. So yeah, it's a weird time, but I'm really loving it, so I'm hoping to definitely finish that next week. And the other one I'm in the middle of is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I am now 70% of the way through the audiobook, and I honestly can't wait to finish it. I have had such a good time with this book, and I mean, Mara Zapata, like, she knows how to write slow burn, and this is definitely like the slowest of burns. Like, we are 70% of the way through and nothing has happened in terms of them like getting together. So, but the only thing that bothers me is how often our main character, Vanessa, calls Aiden big guy. Like, it's described all the time of like, oh, he's so tall, he's so buff, he's so big, you know, he's a football player, and it's like, okay, we get it. But she calls him big guy so much, and it's a little bit annoying. But other than that, I have come to really like Aiden. I was unsure about him at first, but I do really like him. They've had a lot of cute discussions. They've had a lot of like heart-to-hearts, like opening up about their childhoods and like their deepest fears, and you can just tell like over time she's kind of like cracking him open a little bit, and like, you know, he's letting her see the real him, and I think it definitely seems like very few people know the real him. So, and like she recognizes how special she is for being kind of that person for him, and it's just cute. It's definitely like not the, you know, most amazing thing ever, but I'm just having so much fun with it. It's really cute, really fun and fluffy. So yeah, very excited to finish that. I have just been like wanting to listen to it all the time, so my like house has never been cleaner because I'm like, I want to do something while I listen to it, and I've just been finding weird tasks to do while I listen to it. So that's the end of this vlog. Sorry this was a little bit all over the place and weird, but yeah, I hope you are having a good October. This is gonna go up like 2 days from now, so have a good Halloween. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a jack-o'-lantern emoji. And yeah, let me know if you read either of these, especially if you've read Bunny, because I know that's a very like divisive book. I feel like people either really like it or they thought it was like a waste of their time. So if you have read it, I'd love to know what side of that you fall on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!